All right. Peace and love, family. What's going on? This is your boy Mario Clinton. We are here with yet another episode of the Level Up Podcast. Happy Monday to everybody. I hope you had a really, really great Monday. This is episode 107. Yes, I said it, 107. We are up here doing our thing on the Level Up Podcast. But family, I'm super, super excited. I had such a great, productive Monday. Again, I hope you all had a productive Monday. But I don't want to waste any time. I'm so excited for our guest today. We finally got a female on the show after like 80 episodes of nothing but male rappers. No, I'm just kidding. But without further ado, I'd like to introduce our very special guest, SpeciàlK. How you feeling, sis?
I'm feeling elevated. I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling nice.
Okay.
Radiating.
Yes.
Jesus,
some water. Drink some water. Word. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you for bearing with us. Of course, we're starting a little bit late, but we're gonna get right into it. Into the interview, chop it up a little bit. Not taking up too much time. But for those who don't know you out in the world, who don't know anything about SpeciàlK, can you just let the people know who you are and what it is that you do here in the city of Pittsburgh?
Well, I'm SpeciàlK. I'm peace, I'm love, I'm light, I'm energy, I'm yin, I'm yang. I do music, I model, I'm goddess. I do everything except for swim. Honestly, but I'm a mess with that avatar element, so stay tuned.
I do want to say thank you for being honest about the swimming thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I swim, but I'm not that good.
I feel that. I try a little bit.
And I be lying. I'm like, I swim? I can't swim that good. I suck. Especially in like natural deep water. In a pool, I'm fine. But I was at a lake once, it was a disaster.
Really?
It was a disaster. And I still think about that moment. I'm like, damn, I'm so embarrassed by that. Because I was so scared. I was like,
see, you like the pride and the confidence.
Yeah.
I went whitewater red, backwards, my shoes. Hair was a little messed up. Right. Still survive. Would I do it again?
Hell no.
That was fun.
Oh, that's good. So you're like me and a lot of my guests, where you do a lot of things in terms of being a Jane of all trades, right? Can you talk about how you got into what it is you do? Like, how did that journey start for you? Was it music first? Was it modeling first? Or did it just kind of all like unfold at once? Honestly,
those who really know me, I actually started playing sports.
Okay.
I actually started playing football. And
wait, hold the front. Excuse my language. Hold the front door.
Yeah.
Wait.
Quarterback, wide receiver.
For a school?
For Hazelwood Cobras.
Ah. Whoa.
Yep.
Were you starting?
Only female on the team.
Okay, so talk about that. Like, how did you, what wow.
Yeah, I started playing sports because I remember I wanted to try out for the cheerleading team. And the fantasy. But back then, cheerleading was more good. And I came from a household of, there's 11 of us. I have 9 siblings. So, I wanted to do cheerleading. And once I kind of seen the dynamics, I was just like, oh, I want to do football. And my dad was just like, you sorry, you can't quit.
Right.
I was just like, okay, I never played a day in my life. Swear, I tossed around the ball with my brothers, whatever, but I never played.
But you was actually nice.
I got smacked.
Okay.
And I remember laying there and crying because that was during the karaoke. I remember getting smacked.
Oh, these joints. Yeah.
Getting smacked because I just remember a player coming, smacking me. I laid there, I cried. My dad came over. I was like, I want to quit. And I remember him telling me, this is how it started. I remember him telling me, you're not allowed to quit. When you start something, you have to finish it all the way through. Everything that I ever tried or just found interest in, I never quit. Never quit.
That's beautiful. You can get some early slow snaps. People don't get slow snaps this early, huh? That's dope. So, wow. Football, huh?
Yeah.
And you were a quarterback. You got an arm? You had an arm?
I got an arm.
Yeah.
Look.
She said, I don't toss that shit.
I would toss that right now. I see the football right there.
Right.
love football.
Right. I mean, we're gonna play catch after this episode. I just want to see my brother around.
I got an arm. And then after that, I don't know. I just like, and then I drifted into. I did music.
Mm-hmm.
I was, at my middle school, elementary. I was the first, Black Goldilocks. Shout out Caramel Dragons. And then I kind of sang a little bit, but like I played the flute, I played the piccolo, I played the clarinet, I played the piano, I did a few percussions, and then I got to a point where like I was playing basketball, volleyball, like I was playing sports. I was playing sports all throughout like high school.
Right.
And I think it wasn't until like college, in state, where like I went to like an open mic. I was rapping a little bit in high school. Like,
not really taking it seriously.
Yeah, I wasn't. After Bluetooth connected. Where it was like after
Bluetooth is connected.
Yeah, where I went to open mic, and that was the first time I ever spit the Quiet Storm song that I did. It's like, yo, I remember somebody saying, "Don't stop rapping." And mind you, I don't quit. I don't quit, and I was just like, oh, it's not like just right. It felt like a diary. It turned into a diary more than just like rapping. I always did it with my family at the house. I come from a musically inclined family, so like that's all we did. You have somebody upstairs clean the bathroom, somebody clean the kitchen, somebody clean the basement. Yet you can hear everybody harmonizing to a song. It was like
somebody in the back.
Like, and somebody's doing the job.
That's beautiful, though. I love that. I think it's dope when people come from like a musical family in the background where it's like your being creative is just a part of being who you are. You know what I mean? It's not like you're trying, right? It's just like this is a part of what we do. What outside of the open mic? What was that moment for you when you were like, you know what? I'm going to, at least for music, like really take this serious, really push myself forward.
Well, I had to be comfortable, like showing that because I am very cryptic and I don't really like talk too much about myself. And like in my music, you find more of knowing me, and that aside from me, because somebody could tell you something, but sitting down and hearing it through a song, it was my personal diary to talk about stuff that like I didn't get to talk about on a daily basis. Where it's like,
well, I get it. It's like being a comedian, right? Comedians can say things that they feel in its entirety because it's funny, right?
Yeah.
But it'll be politically charged or whatever. It can be personal. You know what I'm saying? I think with any type of art form, we have, because we're using this muse and because we're using this medium, we're allowed to really express what we're feeling without the judgment right away. You know what I'm saying? I think like if you're just like, this is how I feel, you're just saying it, people are, what's wrong with you? But if you're singing it or you're rapping it or you're doing poetry, that's a different feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love that. So what would you say is like what excites you the most about what you do? Yeah.
The growth in myself as an artist. Because honestly, I remember being here performing with glasses on. With glasses on because like I would close my eyes and like I didn't want to see who was in the crowd because I didn't care. Because it was my time to like really vocalize like what I've been feeling. Like, it was more so for me. It wasn't for any type of monetary gain. It wasn't for any popularity. It was just like to release what I have going on inside me. And to see that growth to like today, where I don't wear glasses and I'm singing and I'm on stage and I'm what? I love it. I love it. And like to just see the growth in the two different beings, like, and not just art, like not just music, but just me as a person. Because I wasn't always comfortable with myself. And that's where I formed the name SpeciàlK, because I didn't always feel special. So I made myself.
Right.
And like to give that to other artists, to give that to other listeners, like that's why I live by my motto. Like everyone deserves to feel special.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whether it's literally like listen to my music, whatever,
Right.
or like internally with yourself.
Mm.
Everyone deserves to feel special. And if you don't feel special, why? Because people ask me, what makes you special? What makes you not special?
Right. Ooh. Talk to him, sis. Oh my God. Yeah, yo, even Elaine was like, that deserves some slow snaps. You gotta give the slow snaps with her dude. No, that's so real, and I think a lot of people in general, that's where people struggle. That's where people fail in anything that they're doing is not believing enough in themselves to even think of themselves as successful. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, I can't. Nah. I mean, I know I do music, but I can never be famous. I can never go. I can never. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we actually limit ourselves from our own self doubt, our own like self hate talk type shit. And I think that's dope. I think like tapping into that, like, no, I'm dope. Like, and I have to do that a lot. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Have you ever heard of the term imposter syndrome? Okay, so I work at the collegiate level at Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
And there's times where I'm like, I don't belong here. And I'm telling myself this, knowing that I got the job already. I'm like, I'm already here, man. Like, you already been doing this shit for 2 years now. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? And I have to literally switch my thought process. Like, no, Mario, you're dope.
Mm-hmm.
If you weren't dope, you wouldn't be in this office. You wouldn't be in this building. Like, understand that. You are worthy of where you are. You know, and I think a lot of people struggle with that, but I'm so happy you said that because, like, I feel like the people need to hear that. They need to know, like, yo, you are dope. You're raw. You know what I'm saying? But you just gotta work hard. You gotta, be consistent, stay diligent. You know what I mean? Be around. I just watched something earlier today, and it was OQP. OQP. Don't forget this. Only quality people. Only quality people. Keep that around you. Only quality people. You know what I'm saying? But it's like mindset plus that equals you'll get where you want to be. You know what I'm saying? That's so dope. Thank you. I'm gonna go ahead. Give you another couple slow snaps for that. So talk about the other things that you do. So how did the because I've seen you model, I've seen a lot of your pictures. And I'm like, damn, you be having like the last time I saw you, I didn't even recognize you. I'm like, hey, what's going on, sis?
I'm like, hey, what's up?
I'm looking at you like, what is that?
I'm like,
you know what I mean? Last time I saw you, had an afro, and some other shit going on. Your dad was here, he was mad cool. Her dad's cool as fuck, by the way. That's my dog. That's my dog. You know what I'm saying? But like, you have so many different looks and things like that. Like, talk about the modeling career. How did you tap into that? How does that?
Ooh, I like dressing up.
Okay.
I ain't gonna lie.
Like that.
I like dressing and like being a blank canvas. So when I wake up in the morning, I don't dress for nobody else. I don't dress for the occasion. I mean, I sometimes dress for the weather because if it's cold, you got to dress. If it's hot, you can dress. But I don't dress for nobody. I dress how I feel, and I'm very what is it? A perfectionist. Like that's how I've always been. Like I used to go to a faith-based school, and I used to pick out my uniform and like have them on a hanger and for the whole week. I used to have like my reds on red hangers, my yellows on yellow hangers. It would be like my tank tops and then my short sleeves, then long sleeves, then my jacket.
Oh, wow. So you're mad organized.
Very.
I'm the type of dude. I like to lay my shit out before I do anything. I'm gonna lay this outfit out.
I stopped doing that.
You know what I mean? Gotta lay it out, see what it look like. Shoes is under there too.
Well, I can. But like I stopped doing that because like I found myself being very tight and not like loose, like, and I wanted to feel
not
free.
Flowing free,
and not free flowing, and I just stopped doing it, and like it felt messy because anytime that because I read the use the human or the training and use of the human choice. And I just remember, in the book it's saying like when you're speaking, you want to look good, sound good, and feel good. And I applied that to everything.
I'm typing that. Give me a second. I have to type that. I have to save that. She said, when speaking,
When I look good, sound
when
good.
look good, sound. I'm sorry, I'm a two-finger type. Sound good.
Alright. You feel good.
Yeah, it's a good there for the sound. Sorry, my bad. Y'all ain't hear that.
It's okay. I snorkel when I went to.
No, that's amazing. What did you read that in?
The use and training of the human voice. Because I had a hard time vocalizing myself. So like reading that, like it's like I want to speak on things, yet some things aren't worth speaking on.
Yeah.
And then when you do speak, like you talk about something, but you don't feel good.
Right.
And you don't sound good either.
But that taps back into what I was just talking about with the imposter syndrome. It's like in certain situations, like I feel like I can speak and sound amazing and be confident as well and like really just go off. But then in certain situations, I'm like, I don't know that much about this thing, even though I have ideas, but I'm like afraid to say something, or like I get lost, like thinking too much about if I'm gonna not sound right.
Yeah.
That is so fucking interesting. Woo.
So
how do you balance those things? feeling like you don't know what to say or you don't have anything to say in that particular instance, but being in a place where you can feel good, look good, and sound good about what you say. How do you balance that? Like, is it circumstantial? Is it like
observing and reading the room, and not to the point where it's like reading to judge, but observing and not just looking, listening, smelling, tasting, feeling. You know what I mean? Taking in the person's character, their tone, how they're moving. Like when you observe, you're seeing the whole.
You know what that reminds me of too? Being present, which we have a very hard time doing in today's society. It's just like being in the fucking moment, like, and just like being.
A lot of people don't know how to do that though. And
I've been working on it.
It's steps. It's baby steps to it. Like I've been probably 2-3 years without a phone. People are like, how do you live in this?
What?
Yes.
Nigga, I will murder somebody.
Literally,
somebody hand me my goddamn phone.
Like, because it's so distracting.
It is.
And like it takes away from it. And then in the pandemic, like that connection of speaking to people is lost. So now when we go to these places where it's like we have to get back to socializing, people don't know how to socialize. And it's like I took away that phone aspect because it makes me be on the bus and keep my head up and have conversations. I had a whole nice conversation with a driver, the Lyft driver. I would have never had that if I would have had my phone.
And I ain't gonna lie, I be hating talking to them damn Lyft drivers, especially if they corny and shit. I don't know if we got the corny ones, but I had great ones. They're like that cool and shit. But there's some guys like how's your day? I'm like, I'm fucking fine. Take me to where I want to go. Ask me questions. Drop me the fuck off. But when I have like forced myself, like, because I've been in those situations where I'm like, all right, let me put the phone down. Let me just talk to this person. You never know. And in those situations, those were some of the best conversations I've ever had. So I feel you on that one. So you heard it here, family. Be present, man. Put the phone down.
Learn to exist.
Yeah, I gotta work on that, man. I gotta work on that. This phone is my. This is
you
my
got
computer.
it right next to you. That's
I love
the crazy part.
thing.
We're in an interview and he has the phone.
This
right
phone
next
has a name. This phone. This is my phone. This is Sammy right here, short for Samsung.
Mm-hmm.
This is Sammy right here. It's my homie. You know what I'm saying? I'm joking. All right, so I'm gonna go a little bit meta because I want to know, and I think that you'll give a good answer for this question.
Okay.
Don't ask the same question.
Okay.
Okay. I'm really interested in knowing this. What do you wish you knew when you started out?
As far as music?
As far as doing what you do.
doing
right now?
What do I wish I knew?
Like if there was like if you could go back and tell your younger self something, you know what I mean? To situate yourself a little bit better. You know what I mean? Or like what's a piece of knowledge that you wish you had at the time in the beginning of you becoming the one and only Special K? Mm-hmm.
Honestly,
Nothing. I love that. No regrets.
No.
No
Honestly,
regrets.
no. Like, no, that's not even no bull. Because, like, I didn't have, like, a perfect mindset or childhood growing up. Yet, the balance of having that good and bad literally elevated me to being Special K. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I can't give.
So without those lessons and those things.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because even the most peaceful person got rage inside of them. The most peaceful person has the most rage inside of them. So all them spiritual sisters that like,
listen.
He said, you think Erykah Badu won't punch in the face?
Listen.
You think? I'm just being honest. Like that's.
No, I've just been in situations where like folks have been so conscious that in their unconsciousness they feel as though they're being more conscious, if that makes sense. Because they're not addressing these things, or because everyone has it. Like you said, everyone has that something, you know what I mean, that's deep inside. But I think like people who are really spiritually free or just like mentally free even, they address those things as opposed to keeping them in and then adding new ideals and new practices to it. You know what I mean? It's like that's like me fucking skipping leg day. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna hit the shoulders. And then it's like, nigga, once your shoulders get too big, your legs be like,
you know what I'm like that SpongeBob episode. Right. With the arms like.
But it's real, man, and I think people skip steps, man. We skip a lot of fucking steps, but like that's also okay. It's okay to have that rage, or you know, people use the term demons or whatever it may be. It's like, no, that's a part of your whole person. A lot of times, it's part of being human.
If you don't feel angry, happy, sad, mad, depressed, are you really human? Right. You're a robot. Because facts, I feel but you have to have some self-discipline with those emotions. Allow yourself to feel. Know why you're feeling that feeling. Move on.
And forgive, man. Like I think forgiving is a big part of that. Like,
don't beat yourself up for feeling
I had a thought, and it's gonna sound really weird. So I'm gonna say, no, I'm not gonna say it. So it's not weird. I was getting ready. I'll say this politely. I was getting ready for work one morning, and I was thinking about my childhood and about the things that like I despised about it. You know what I mean? Like I really hated. Like I'm like, I can't believe that I lived that. You know, I can't believe that I like, you know, said and did some of the things that I did as a child. You know what I mean? But then I think I heard a podcast or something like that, or saw a meme, and it was like, yo, you have to forgive yourself. You know what I mean? And move on, or you'll be stuck there. And I was like, damn, like, 'cause I felt it, man. It was one of those days where I was just like thinking a lot while getting ready. You know what I mean? And I'm like, fuck, you know, being a father now too, like kind of had me thinking about those things that I went through as a child. And I was like, man, I need to forgive myself, and I need to move on. You know, and I think like, you know, we need to do more of that, more of that self healing. You know what I mean? I think we look too external for things. We look for other things to give us that, as opposed to just being like, nah, this shit happened. I went through this. This was my life at a time. I'm no longer that person, or no longer in that situation, and I'm okay. I forgive myself, and I forgive those who hurt, whatever. You know what I mean? And I am making a decision now to move forward. You know what I mean?
That's the first place to
yeah.
elevate. Because I always say, hurt Heal, let go. When you hurt, like you allow yourself to feel that way.
This girl's good, y'all.
And then you heal yourself and you let it go. To a point where let's say a family member hurt you, if you already forgave them and let it go, you're going to meet again. Time works on its own time.
Absolutely.
And when you're already mentally, emotionally ready for that encounter, you're already at peace. So you can be open to that conversation. You don't harbor no ill will. You're not thinking about nothing in the past. You're thinking about how you engage with them. You don't know how they're gonna come at you, what type of energy, what type of mindset they have, but you know where yours is.
Right.
And if it ain't for you, distance yourself.
Easy.
Because you got other places to be.
That's gonna be the quote of the day or the quote of the week, Ivan. Time works on its own time. Just remember we was talking about that in the marketing meeting. Yeah, that's it right there. That's it. That shit. That's deep. You give me goosebumps. All right, I'm gonna lighten it up because I feel like I'm getting real meta with this shit. All right, so I've seen you perform. I've seen you like just like now. Bless you. Just like now, like you're very, like you said, you know who you are. Like you know that you're special. When you're on the mic, when you're in front of people on the stage, like your presence is very dominant. But in thinking about how you've come up as an artist, can you describe a time when you had to really think outside of the box when it comes to performing or giving a show?
Well, kind of as of recently, where I because of the pandemic, we wasn't really performing, and like I was doing like a few here and there, like live streams, or like I'll go on my page and I'll go live, and I have like live performances that I'll do, and I'm just like, how am I gonna change from? So I brought my room to the stage, but like I would never take anything like in my room on stage because it still has my energy. So like little stuff or like beanbag chair, like plants, like making it feel like it's comfortable. That's why you always need to take off my shoes.
Right.
Because it makes me feel comfortable and like I want to be comfortable.
Right.
So this feels comfortable. It feels like I'm in the living room.
You are.
The only difference is that mics right here, but even then, like our living room has a drum set and mics and speakers, and, you know what I mean? So like, just creating that comfort to how I want it, and then like after that, I don't know where it's going to go. But I'm just excited.
Do you feel like that, like bringing those elements to your performance? Do you think that like in your mind, does it feel like that brings the audience in more? You know what I mean? Like
honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. I swear, I'm not even gonna lie. Based off of what other people said, yeah, like you know what I mean. They can feel the energy. For me though, I really it's for my comfort. You know what I mean? I don't do it like, oh, what's gonna bring the people in? Like because like I don't. That's not what I do it for. You know what I mean? Like even when certain shows are like, oh, you gotta pay me. It's not. You can't pay me for my art. My art is priceless. My diary, my music is priceless. You can't. If you won't pay me for that, you're gonna be broke. You won't be broke. You know what I'm saying? But my time though, you can pay for it.
Right.
Yeah, you can't pay me for it. And then even then, if I want to do something for free, it's never gonna be for free for me because I want to do it. It is genuine and it's pure. Regardless if there's hiccups, technical difficulties, whatever the case is, I came because I wanted to come. I didn't come because money, because X, Y, Z. Like, you know what I'm saying? I came because I wanted to. I'm like, I can't pay you. Girl, it's cool. I want to come to this.
You want to do this shit, right?
And then other people are like,
no.
There's a services tab on special case.
So in thinking about that, so this is that's interesting because I think it reminds me of my favorite entrepreneur, who's Gary Vee. I don't know if you know who Gary Vee is, but he's the man. in a lot of ways. And he kind of like settled down a little bit, but he's the man still. But he always talks about the jab, 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 right hook, and that's basically doing things for free and giving and giving and giving, and then throwing an ask in at the tail end because it's like, yo, your shit is worth something, right? But it's like when we're thinking about our brands, we have to start thinking about what value are we giving people to even buy into our brand. You know what I mean? Like, I think you have a great mindset in saying, yo, I do this for me, and this is my personal diary, this is my thing that makes me feel good. But at the end of the day, it's like, you're still a brand. You know what I mean? It's still a business at the end of the day. But I like that model that you just explained, where you're like, no, you asked me to do it, I fuck with you, I'm gonna do that shit. But if depending on the circumstances, I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? And it might
don't ask me.
You know what I'm saying?
4 years in a row to volunteer my time.
Exactly. Because after a while, it's like, you're wilding.
Because I'm practicing every day.
Big wilding. But with that in mind, about being an artist that you like to sort of like a model, you know what I mean? But like, let's talk about music. Let's keep music. Being an artist, what's a common misconception that you would like to address?
Like, as far as that been put on me, or just in general?
Just something that you think, like, people think artists are this way, or this thing about in and out, goddamn badass kids. How artists do things, or how the industry, people perceive the industry, et cetera, et cetera. Like, what's something that you've noticed that people, say or do that you're like, that's not really it, from your perspective?
When people try to follow trends, like, do y'all not know that trends die down? Trends die down. Who wears Aeropostale?
Ooh, shit. I used to.
Like, everybody.
I used to wear Abercrombie, Aeropostale,
who wears
Hollister, all that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, who?
We call it tight teasy.
It's the same with music. Like, okay, go ahead, bop, go ahead, bump your all this trendy music and everything. Ask me if people still, to this day, listen to Earth, Wind, and Fire.
I mean, older folk.
No. Younger folks still. Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah.
We'll do something.
Oh, you're talking about timelessness versus trend.
You know what I mean? We try to make trendy music instead of just making. I can't tell somebody how to do their music.
Right.
I really can't yet. There's a very big difference between people who make music and people who are artists. I want to get that established. There's a huge difference between people who make music and people who are artists. People who are lyricists, people who are MCs, people who are rappers. They're all different. People who can sing, people who are singers.
Singers, that's a difference.
There is a difference.
No, they would always say back in my time, they're like, can you blow? You can blow? You can blow? Like, you know what that means. I mean, like, you hit runs.
You can't
up there in octaves, okay?
You can't go in there and just,
Oh yeah, that shit boring. Yeah, there was a cover. I forget the song. I forget who the artist was, but it was a female artist who covered she covered Luther, I think. It was a Luther song. And my boy Kevin on stage, the comedian did like a little play-by-play, like, kind of like critique of it, and he was just like, oh. He's like, why does she sound? But like, you could hear it. It's like, yo, you could tell she was a great singer, I guess, or like she was good, but she was not Luther. You know what I mean? Like, you don't touch no Luther. You can't touch shit and not be able to do the shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't cover shit that you can't sing. And that's the reality of the situation. It's like, yo, please stop. You're ruining it for everyone and yourself. Even though you sound cool, like, it sounds cool for the time, right? It's like being an artist for the time versus being timeless. It sounded terrible. It was very flat. Very breathy. It came from the nasal passages.
In the name of love. Like, whoo! Sweeter than a needle. No, that's.
No, but I love that answer though. You know, because there is like, you know, and again, I love all types of music. I love the music of this time. I like trap. I like that silly shit. I like gangster shit every once in a while.
I listen to Fuji.
But it's like, yeah. but it's like, you know, there is a difference between shit that you forget versus shit that you would never forget. That's just like, yo, as soon as I hear that shit, I'm like, oh,
that's soulful music.
Yeah.
Not even just like, even Boosie's music is soulful music.
Yeah.
Something that will sit with you
right.
and make you move or dance regardless.
It's like a 3-6 mafia joint. You just like,
no, if you want,
right? Nah, shit like that. But that's good. So, what would you say? How would you describe your creative process?
Oh.
Yeah. So, like, walk us through a day. So, we at the studio, okay?
What day?
We are backstage the runway.
Mm-hmm.
We are wherever we at. Walk us through what your creative process is.
Like coming up with a song or preparing for it?
Doesn't matter. Both.
Ooh. Coming up with a song, I might be in the tub, I might be in the closet, I might be underneath the bed.
Wait, the closet?
Facts.
What you doing in the closet?
The closet, the aesthetic. The aesthetic.
Is this a walk-in?
The aesthetic. I don't know, like, and feeling that connection to all my clothes. And under my bed too, it's cool. And it's like, I don't know why, like, honestly, and then the tub, I don't know. Something about the tub.
I mean, tubs are healing.
No. But I'm not saying what you are. Just in the tub.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just in the tub. Like, probably like 12 o'clock at night. During the daytime.
Is it the acoustics?
Yeah. Playing the guitar, like nobody home.
Yeah.
And I'm like playing like kids.
Sorry,
Dad.
Sorry, Dad. I do weird shit with you now.
Daylight though, I really like to sit in the grass. When it rains, I like to sit, and when it's sunny, I feel sunny. And then when it's rain, you know what's weird? I make my sad songs when it's sunny. I make my happy songs when it's raining.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I really don't know. Like even
it sounds like
it's more the soothing for my soul. Like when I'm angry, like.
Sorry. I'm sorry. A man walked in with a blanket on. Hey,
you comfy.
At level up, weird shit be happening.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You comfy? It's okay. You comfy.
My nigga got on a blanket.
It's like shit.
With
holes in it. I'm sorry. I like you, but I like.
I thought Shaft walked in.
I like it. No, but it's. I mean, I don't know. It reminds me of, I would say the word, adaptation. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, but more so for the raining part, as opposed to the sunny part, because I'm still trying to really like process that. Like,
okay.
What about nice weather? It's a sad, you know what I mean?
I mean, like when I'm angry, I won't listen to angry songs. It'll make me more angry.
Right.
So when I'm angry, I listen to, you know what I mean, sad songs. Because not even sad songs, angry songs, I don't really get angry. If I'm happy, I'll listen to sad songs. It's just, I'll listen to that. Like stuff where it's like, I'll be going out. I used to go out with my girlfriend in college. And we're getting ready, getting dressed, and everybody else will play the, jumpy stuff. And I'm playing all the sad stuff, like, me and Mrs. Dumb. And I'm like, girl, when did you play this? I'm like, I don't know. It gets me, because I know I'm about to go out and listen to trash music all night with y'all.
So it kind of preps you.
Yeah. And then after, done listening to all that, oh my body, my neo soul, and it kind of like I got a headache. I don't know.
I love it. I mean, I think I listen. Everyone's process is different, and that's a very refreshing answer for me. Because most people are like, yeah, man, I just get in the studio and I do what they got to do. And I'm like, word. Good answer.
First of all,
Good answer.
I would never go to the studio and just like, no, I come with a plan. I'm gonna come with a plan. So we doing this. If we can't do 5-6 songs sitting down in 2 hours, not even 2 hours, an hour, what we doing? And I'm just talking about laying down the tracks because it shouldn't take me that long because I should be actually practicing and know what my layers are, know what my ad-libs are, know how my verse is written. And if I'm in the studio, you get to still read your stuff, you're not performing. But even then, though, you should know your stuff front and back. So when I perform it, I'm performing it like, I'm not performing it. See, I'm performing it.
I mean, but yes. So I have a rest in peace to my boy, Brian. But he's the guy who helped me set up the studio along with my boy Ivan. Not that Ivan, the other Ivan, older Ivan. But he said recording music is 3 different things. He said it's content, performance. So you're right in using the term performance because you are performing in the booth, and technical realization of that performance in the music behind it. You know what I mean? And so like people like don't go into the studio like, oh, I'm gonna just spit this shit and then let the engineer make that shit sound hot. It's like, nah. If you think about like Whitney, for example, it's like, dog. They probably put a little bit of reverb on her shit, some echo, and called it a day because it was that fucking good. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference. Why are you staring at me, baby? You think I'm talking about you? but for real, like when I record, I really try keep her put me on the spot. I try to perform my best. Like I'm gonna get my best take, to where like the editing doesn't have to be that hard. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love vocal manipulation and like cool shit like that if that's what you're trying to go for. Like Kendrick, his cousin, can't remember his name, but they got that top of the morning, that joint. What's his name? You know the top of the morning with Kendrick. It's his cousin, that's his cousin. Ian. Not Ian. Where's Justin at when I need him? Anywho. Go in the bathroom, bro. You freaking me out, man.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
You make me feel real uncomfortable, shawty.
And the thing is, I felt comfortable. I'm just like, are you using it? Like,
he just looking like, hey,
y'all. He could have done that anywhere else.
Again, level up, only weird shit happens. Okay. All right, so. Okay, that's a good question. Shout out to my wife for these good ass questions. Yeah, she be helping me.
I'm like, these are some good questions. I don't know where they're coming from.
Yeah, where you find a strong man, there's an even stronger woman behind it. Anyway, what are the best resources to tap into for someone just starting in a career interest such as yours?
What happened?
A career in such as mine? I do everything. So
okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh my, ask the question.
Yeah. So what are the best resources for someone to tap into if they're just starting in a similar career path as you? Let's use that term. Need. Again.
Need, like.
Only quality people. I'm telling you.
No, like for real though.
That's the secret.
You have to network with people, right? So with her saying that,
that's the secret.
I don't know everything, but what I know
is valuable.
Somebody who's
valuable because you've already blazed the trail up to this point, so you can at least get them up to this point, and then they can do what they got to do to excel further. But like that, man, I be watching so many goddamn entrepreneurial shits because I'm addicted to that shit. But they say the same shit. It's like, yo, if you want to be a fucking millionaire, hang out with a fucking millionaire, stupid. What you doing, you know? Hey, Jaree, what you doing here? What's up, Jaree? Hey, Jaree's in the building. The studio manager, Jaree, is in the building.
Real quick.
Holla at her. All right, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. We're winding down a little bit. This has been an amazing interview. Thank you so much again, family. If you're just now tuning in, this is episode 107. I got the goddess herself, Special K, in the building. Man, we've been chopping it up something serious. Oh, we going. This is how you know it's natural. When it's natural, it's good. But I want to get into a fun question, switch it up a little bit. And I'm interested in knowing this. Actually, I'm gonna try this one. This might be hard. What is an unpopular opinion?
An unpopular opinion that I had?
Take it there. Go ahead.
Unpopular opinion?
I told you.
Okay, give me an example.
Because
I'm a visual type.
Without it being politically incorrect. You know what I mean? Like, what's something that, like, you have an opinion on that most people may be like, no. Without it being politically incorrect now. Okay?
Without it being.
Because we don't want to do that. You missed too hard. I was with the question.
It's not hard. It's just like,
You might want to go.
I got a lot of unpopular
Alright,
opinions.
How about that? How about this? I'll put my kind on the spot. Let's talk about men. What's an unpopular opinion you have about men?
Oh,
I mean, it's easy. Or don't. Okay. You're getting somewhere. I can see it in your eyes.
Unpopular opinion about men.
It doesn't have to be because you were like, I don't like that.
I mean, I don't want to choose a side for me, like, you know what I'm saying? Because like I don't want to do that. I'm on a side of right and wrong.
Right.
Okay, because I'll say this. Unpopular opinion. As women, as goddesses, we have to realize that we are emotional beings. And in order for us to have a healthy conversation with males, we have to have a healthy relationship with ourselves. And know that we're emotional and have a logical conversation with men. Men, we know that you're logical. You are a logical being. It is harder for you to be emotional. You have to be a little bit emotional in order to have that emotional connection with women. And you have to have a healthy relationship with yourself. If you don't have it with yourself, there's no way you can.
Give her a couple slows in that. That's just beautiful. That's beautiful. Ray, what you looking for? A paycheck? It ain't happening. Like, she texted me today like, you get my invoice? Yes, girl. I got your goddamn invoice. No, I'm just kidding. All right, Ivan, I'm ready. Neo Soul. So,
Isaiah Rashad type.
Miss Special K, Goddess herself. Will you bless us with
Ooh.
some lyrical, spiritual, metaphysical, empirical, I don't know. We want to hear you spit some shit. We're going to play a game. It's called Words with Friends. Are you ready for the 3 words?
Yes.
The word is city, gas, mountains. City, gas, mountains. Let's go. Let's wait for the beat to drop. Hold on. I don't hear shit.
Mr. Krabs me.
When you want it.
This an ad.
Bro, you're supposed to mute it during the ad.
It's okay, bro. He was born in
Get
2000.
your production skills up, man. Get your production skills up, man. Turn that up. That's good.
Oh shit.
Come on, Shotty.
Come on, rookie.
You cussing.
Everybody
Oh,
cussing.
they cussing up on these podcasts. It's explicit on the podcast.
Get your car, get your gas. Talk your shit. Get your car, get your gas. Go get your car, get your gas. Ride this ride. Go get your car, get your gas. Go get your car. I'll be right there in the back. In the bushes.
I'll say it. You hit that.
Tell me talk your shit. Tell me what you about. Gonna scream it out, baby. Scream and shout. I got sunshine. But it is what it's about. You talking about. Watch what come out your mouth. Keep it dripping out this spout. And I never taste it. Go get your car, get your gas, talk your smack, don't get your car, get your gas, don't get your car, get your car, get your gas, talk your smack, get your car, get your gas,
That was fire, dog. She had a hook and everything, dog. She had a hook.
That was some great, like, hard words, girl. Like, I should say,
Look at your tongue. Yes, we just said, hey, what? Something with this gritty. What you looking for, Jareen?
my flat iron.
It's over there. It's over there in the cut. All right, this Special K. Absolutely amazing. I hope everybody was able to hear that clearly. If not, you can catch this episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all that good stuff, and all podcast streaming places next week. So you can hear it clearly. But man, that was freaking amazing. But yeah, especially you know what we do here at Level Up. You know that we're about the young people. We're about inspiring artists to be their best selves, and that's why we do this podcast. It's to show people, Pittsburgh, show young people, show older people even, that there are people out here following their dreams, doing what they got to do, and living great lives through creative arts and through their passions. And so, with that, you know, I want to ask if there is somebody out there who wants to pursue art, wants to pursue music, modeling, acting, whatever it may be. You know, if there was a piece of advice that you can give to that person, what advice would you give?
I would just say, do it for yourself at the end of the day. Do it for yourself. And my dad always says, you know, when you're not competing, your competition is. And your competition isn't other people, your competition is yourself. So compete with yourself from yesterday, from the hour before, the minute before, and you will always be the best version that you can be.
I'm tired.
You gotta take my phone. Shout out to Faja.
Competition ends. My goodness. These quotes today. We got so many. Sahar, my babe, I hope you're listening. Please put this in our next communication. Okay? These are good quotes. I'm highlighting in the document that you shared with me, the 100th episode notes. So they are all bolded and italicized. So if you forget them, I already typed them, and you can use them in our next communications as well. These powerful quotes. All right, before we get off, family, again, this is episode 107 of the Level Up Podcast. Your boy Mario Quinn, Special K. I will give you that opportunity right now. If you want to give out any shout outs or anything else, with that, can you also please let the people know if they want to get in contact with you, how they can reach out to you on the internet and all that good stuff.
You can follow me on Instagram, SpeciàlK_artist. The K is together. The K is together.
No spaces, man.
No spaces. You can follow me on Energy Lane, but I also, if you follow me on Instagram, there's a link in my bio where I'll have all my social media, all my streaming platforms, all my services. If you want to host modeling classes, I do basic artist development, booking for modeling. I have a performance coming up November 20th at Hard Rock Cafe. I have tickets for sale for $12, so just message me. And it's gonna be a nice show. It's gonna be my dad. It's gonna be my brother. It's gonna be also Steve A who will be assisting me on vocals. So it's definitely gonna be a vibe. So definitely come out, look out for it. 1 ticket. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And family, of course, you can follow your boy Mario Quinn at The Mind of Quinn on all social media platforms. And please follow Level Up Studios at Level Up PGH. And of course, check out our website, levelupPGH.com. We are still raising funds for our expansion project, the Level Up Apex, which is coming soon. Our goal is this next spring. So again, we are expanding and augmenting our offerings. So please check us out. Just go to our website, leveluppgh.com/Apex PGH. Again, that's leveluppgh.com/Apex PGH. Again, this is your boy Mario Quinn, Special K, episode 107 of the Level Up Podcast, and we are out. Peace. Yeah.